Yeah, how you doing? Think of me as the benevolent ruler with an iron fist.
Going around saying that people siphoning gas from a car.
Mm. Well, she's a fool. She's a paranoid fool, and that probably didn't happen. So, I'm a what you could call me is the king of my immediate area, from here all the way to over there. And that's why I tagged myself at a place called the Mafia Hangout, because I'm the big shot in and around here. I'm the big shot in and around here, and it is what it is. It just is what it is. And so, I have I have the bragging rights. I have the bragging rights to say that I'm as good as I say I am. To say that I'm as good as I am at what I do. And I've said it before, I wear many hats. And I say this because being just another face in the crowd may be fine for others. Should It should be fine for others, and it better be fine for others. But for, but for me, for people as close to perfect as I am, nobody's perfect. But for people as close to it as I am, being just another face in the crowd is a fate worse than death. It is a fate worse than death. Imagine John Krantz, me, being a nobody all the way up until the day he dies. Can you imagine that? Imagine me being one of many of the same thing until my last breath. It's unthinkable, completely unthinkable. I will always be something that stands out at all costs. It just has to be. It has to be. It has to be. That's why I put out such great music, because I want to do it in a positive way. Songs with songs with nice hooks. Songs with nice hooks, like Emotionally Scarred. Now think of the chorus of Emotionally Scarred, the song Emotionally Scarred. What a great song that is. What a great song that is. And I'm eating pasta. Great stuff here. And so Yeah. So you could think of me as that kind of benevolent ruler with an iron fist. You could think of me as that kind of benevolent ruler with an iron fist. Because somebody's got to point people in the right direction. Somebody's got to be that benevolent leader that guides people out of the realm of stupidity. You know, somebody's got to teach, these green-haired airheads. Someone's got to teach these green-haired airheads, sit them down and teach them, no, William Cooper did not deserve to get riddled with bullets, with his blood and guts everywhere all over his doorstep. Because he was not a threat to anybody, except to dangerous people that you don't want controlling this country and your life. He was only a threat to dangerous people that you don't want ruling over you. I mean, all he ever did was warn us about the people who eventually, killed him and, splattered his blood and guts all over his doorstep. But some people are the very sheeple he spoke of in his live broadcast. And you have to sit these airheads down and explain it to them. I mean, the airheads are not your enemy unless they actually take up arms against you. Then you got no choice but to defend yourself. I mean, it's like leftist, Marxist, socialist media is like the zombies bite. And once it bites a lot of its viewers, they become like zombies and they're just out to kill and eat the brains of anybody who's not one of them. Just like in the movie I Am Legend. But some of them you could sit down and reason with and say, hey, this is how it is. What's the matter, Colonel? What's the matter? You want to see Doggy? Look at my that's my doggy. Look at Colonel. Doggy. He's one of them lazy old doggies that's been around a long time. Not necessarily lazy, but like slow moving because of his age. And, he still loves the people he lives with. Can't get around as fast as he did when he was a puppy. But, like any other loyal doggy, with his masters through thick and thin until the end. Which we still hope to get another, I'd say 3-4 years out of him. Anyway, and he just gave me that look like, what you talking about? Don't be forecasting when I check out to these people I don't even know. Right, Colonel? Okay. So, anyway, back to live action here. Yeah, so, the other stuff is just, The other stuff is just to piss off the critics, because everybody wants to be a critic. Everybody wants to put that thumb on the top of your head and keep you under their thumb. Everybody wants to keep a person under them. You know, some are benevolent leaders that would like to empower people and only pounce on them with that iron fist if they're disrespectful. But you'll have some others that don't care where your status is. They don't care how nice you are to them in the past or even present. They just want to rule over you. They want to alpha you. They want to turn betas into you. And there's enough room on the planet for everybody to be the ruler of their environment. The ruler of their own realm, their own space, their own three-eyed aura, whatever you want to call it. You don't need you don't need to have somebody else ruling your personal space. Think of that for a minute.
Well, you remember when we said that if we saved enough money, we could build a skate park in New York? No. Well, anyway, to switch this to
I have a pet peeve about close talkers. I have a pet peeve about people who have some astounding proclamation to make. Hey, Siobhan. Siobhan, the person I'm going to one day go on a movie date with in Staten Island. We're gonna go to that movie. We're gonna go to that movie theater in back of Highland Plaza if they're still open. And we're gonna hold hands and watch a movie one of these days. Let's reimagine, rebuild, and renew New York together. So, with that said, with all that said, you have to understand and respect the ways, because all I'm doing for people is taking knowledge, taking common sense, and conveying it to the people who have been injected with complete nonsense and senselessness for the last 3 or 4 years, particularly in this past year. Memorial Day weekend. I think this Memorial Day weekend we should let a certain victim of abuse of power, a certain casualty to abuse of power, rest in peace, and not bring up that it's the upcoming 1-year anniversary of that man's death. I think out of respect to that person and his family, everyone, especially the media, should let that man rest in peace. The verdict was in. The culprit was found guilty and thrown in jail, and they probably ate the key. So, with that said, on the 1 year anniversary of that incident that cost that man his life, I would recommend that the media let him rest in peace and stop reminding his family of what happened and just make it just another day. Make it as mundane a day as possible. That's what I would recommend to the media. But the media's too good to listen to some guy in a mechanic's uniform in Brooklyn. Am I right? Am I right? I will do this. If I see things in my feed about it, I'm going to have to hide it. Hide post, that the little option that says hide post. Hide every post about it. Beep, 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 beep. And that's not out of disrespect to the man, it's actually out of respect to the man. And I'm sure you didn't walk into Target that day and say, I'm going to be a martyr today. Nobody thinks that. Even the greatest martyr of modern times did everything he could to avoid his own death and still died. Of course, that man was the gentleman I mentioned earlier, William Cooper. He was a great man. And the New World Order, bumped him off. Kind of like they did with the President of the United States. I'm not talking about anyone recently, of course. I'm talking about number 35. And I'm sure William Greer is somewhere bragging about what he did with in the afterlife with all his new horned-headed friends, his new red-complected horned-headed friends with the pointy tails. But yeah, this is what we got going on here, and this is why you got to teach people these things. You got to teach people that the whole plot for the ruling elite to control the whole world is a lot more feasible than people think. Now, I personally think it's real. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but it can't be ruled out. It can't be written off as hogwash or silliness. And that's why I consider myself a benevolent ruler with an iron fist, because I'm able to teach people these things. Without batting an eyelash or an eyelid. All right. With that said, stay strong and fight the good fight.